Hello, hockey fans. The Minnesota Hockey Connection is on the air. We're at PACT-TV Studios in Duluth, and we got a special guest for, well, I tell you what, if you want a foundation for your team, we got the guy we can talk to for all day long about goalies. Because Taras Lendzyk played for UMD in the early 90s, right?
Early 90s, yeah, 92 through 96.
Yeah, and broke almost every record in goalies at UMD. And let me tell you, if you think about it, look at all the goalies that just after you that came through. We got
Let's go with Brant Nicklin, who broke some of those
yeah.
records.
Now he's a coach at UMD.
Absolutely, records are meant to be broken, right? So
Yep.
Brant comes in, breaks a few, and
Right, and we got Stetsko now. He's been playing real well. I mean, for what he's been going through in his life. And then before that, we had
Staylock.
Metz. What's the goalie that Arizona drafted? Metz. Oh, I
From
can't even
UMD?
think. Yeah. Oh, let me see. I might have. Oh, here I got. Some.
Miska.
Yeah, there you go, Miska.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. And then Hunter Shepard. Holy
Yeah,
shit!
he
What
had
a
quite a-
competitive goalie he was. And,
He had quite a career at UMD, absolutely.
yeah. And Fanti,
Brian Fanti.
Kashmir, Kazasu.
Kaskasuo.
Yep.
Yep.
And when they won their first national champs, Kenny Ryder.
Yep.
Man,
Well, let's not forget some of the goalies prior to the years I was
I wasn't
there.
around here.
No, Chad Erickson
Okay.
up in the Roseau War Road area
Yeah,
was there.
right.
Had a great career at UMD as well.
Was he there when like Brett Hall and Billy Watson? Or
No, he would have been after that.
After that?
Back then,
Okay.
that would have been, I believe it was Rick Costi.
Oh yeah. Was he in International Falls?
That I'm not too sure.
Okay. Yeah, but I'm just thinking, wow, what a lineup of goalies.
Yeah, didn't we have a Mason that played there too?
Yeah. Oh, and he was a coach for the Wild
Yes, he
for
was.
many years. Nice guy too.
Great guy.
Yeah. Holy cow. What memories.
Yeah.
So right now,
Oh, hey, we can't forget Chico Resch.
oh geez, that's my time.
There you go. See, how
Yeah.
can you forget?
I see Chico. He's the funniest guy and another nice guy.
Mm-hmm.
And he always comes back to Minnesota. He lives over by Brainerd during the off season. And Chico,
Yeah.
yeah, he comes into the Wild. Where is he doing? New Jersey Devils?
I don't know where he's at now.
He does, okay. But he's in TV and radio back east. And, man, boy, a lot of memories. So, tell us a little bit about your camp. What do you call it? And what age groups and that you
Yeah,
teach?
so we have Upper Midwest Elite Goalie Academy. And it was, prior to that we had Goalies Matter, and the Goalies Matter was created more for the apparel side of the business, but we got into the goalie camps and private lessons, and so Upper Midwest Elite Goalie Academy evolved from Goalies Matter, and myself and two other partners, Jerry Borough and Patty Elsmore, started going under the name Upper Midwest Elite Goalie Academy, and we have Ben Pat on board as well to help with the lessons. And Ben is I believe 2 years removed from playing at UMD, so he's been a great addition to have with us. So we do private lessons. We do those private lessons on synthetic ice down at the Northern Elite Training Facility down here on Garfield Avenue in Duluth. It's been fantastic, and we really enjoy the synthetic ice because it really makes the goalies work harder. That friction, it's not like ice, but it's similar to ice, but there's more friction, so it makes the goalies work harder. And when they work harder, become stronger, when they're out on the ice, it should become easier. So not only do we do the private lessons, we do also association lessons. I know last year we worked with the Hermantown Youth Association with their goalies. We did, I believe it was 7 sessions throughout the year. I was going out to Hayward every Wednesday. I worked with the Hayward High School goalies, the girls and the boys, for an hour, and then I worked with the Youth Association goalies for an hour after that. And actually, Rod Aldoff, former
Yeah.
UMD defenseman,
Right.
was the guy that got me introduced to the Hayward Association. Jerry Picard has been working with the Cloquet Association for the, well, I shouldn't say the Cloquet Association, the Cloquet High School boys goalies.
Okay, yeah.
And so he's been doing that. It'll be his second year. It'll be my third year with the Duluth Northern Stars, working with their goalies. We are trying to finalize an agreement with Alexandria Boys High School goalies. Josh Myers, former UMD,
Really?
former UMD player and coach out there in Alexandria. We've been in contact. We're just trying to finalize everything. And most recently, Jerry was selected to work with the College of St. Scholastica girls goalies. And myself, about 2 weeks ago, was asked to be the goalie coach for the Minnesota Wilderness. So it's been quite busy.
Boy, and I just, no offense, but I saw the Wilderness in the beginning of the season. I know that team, they do a great job during the season of changing players. And
Yeah, but that's minor pro hockey though, right?
Yeah.
Like there's always guys coming in, there's always guys going out, and when it's early in the season, maybe cuts from the USHL haven't been
Right.
completed
Yep.
yet. So when that happens, coaches at that level, or in that league, I should say, are going to be looking for places to send players, and
Right. But what they lost, I think, their first two games, and then they won one in overtime. I think they won another one, then they won another one in overtime.
Well, let's just say that they've won 8 straight games.
Yeah, now they're going
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's amazing.
Well, it just takes time, right? Like, it just takes time. We as
Right.
coaches, especially for myself, I'm coaching the Bantam Double A's in Hermantown, and for myself, I want instant success, right? Unfortunately, it doesn't happen that way. It takes time for the guys to get to know each other, to work together on the ice, to buy into the systems that you want them to play, and to believe in each other. And so I think that's what's happening with the
So
Wilderness.
are you with the Wilderness now? Are you going to be at most of the home games then, or how's that work? Or do you just go to the practices once in a while?
I go work with the goalies twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Okay.
Pat is going to be doing video review with the goalies once a week, so
Okay.
that is going to be helpful for them.
Okay.
I will attend the games when I can, and it's a conversation that I had with the head coach, Colton St. Clair, that being the coach of the Bantam Double A's in Hermantown, that's a commitment that I made that I have to honor. So I just let him know that I'll be able to attend the home games when I don't have anything for Hermantown.
Now, go back a few seconds. You're the coach of the Bantam Double A in Hermantown?
Yes.
How is that Bantam Double A team?
I think the team has a lot of potential. I like what I see. We got some hard workers. We have some foot soldiers. We got some guys with speed. We have size. We have strength. We have goaltending. We have 5 older guys that are the 4 08s, I believe, and then a group of 09s and a couple 2010s on the team. So I think we can be good. It's just a matter of them now getting accustomed to each other and buying into how we as coaches want them to play and start playing together.
Yeah, there's been a lot of little politics, and a lot of people wish they were in Double A in high school. But let me tell you one thing about Hermantown. They've always had some really good coaches. And second thing is, which I love, is that they have the outside rinks, and most of these kids, they can't get off the rink. They're rink rats, and that helps so much, especially when you're out of state. We don't have the camps for skating and shooting and all that like they do in the cities, because there's thousands of kids that pay $5,000 or more down in the cities every year, and then they fight for a high school job. It's tough. I mean.
Well, up here, it's been one of the traditions, right, with Minnesota hockey, especially up here in Duluth, and the area is outdoor hockey, right?
Right.
And it's great to see, and maybe right now there's a lot of it because there's a shortage of indoor ice. Will it change when Hermantown gets their new rink? I don't know. Okay. But you go anywhere in this city and you find an outdoor rink, usually it's full with kids.
Yeah, that's
and
good.
it's great to see.
Yep. And,
That's that unstructured hockey
yeah.
that they need to be doing.
But talking about all these camps or years, I mean, they're really year camps. These kids go 5 days a week for 8 months at 3 hours a day and they learn everything. Like they work on shooting, they work on skating, they even have computer classes to get smarter when you're in this position and they do everything in that. And I tell you, wait a minute. Why doesn't Duluth do that? But then I thought, nah, most kids couldn't afford all that. But if we can just get some skating coaches and goalie camps like yours, and I thank you for doing that up here because it's a big need for these kids. If you want to be a goalie, even to make a high school team now, you have to go to these camps. You just can't. It's almost impossible to learn on your own,
Well, I think it's, and trust me, there are, when it comes to the skaters, whether forwards or defensemen, there are other people in the area that could probably speak more intelligently about it than I can. Just for speaking of goalies, you can go spend $300, $400, $500 for a weekend goalie school and do that 2, 3, 4 times a summer.
Right.
But what you see at these goalie camps are 40 to call it 50 goalies on the ice at one time, and there might be, anywhere from 6 to 10 different stations on the ice where the goalies rotate through. Even in doing so, there's still 4 goalies per group. When we were doing goalie schools under Goalies Matter, we were trying to do a 2 to 3 goalie to coach ratio, which is a lot more efficient, which means that the goalie is going to get more instruction. When you do the 4 to 1 or even 5 to 1, there is a lot less goalie instruction, and your goalie receives a lot less attention than they're going to see in a smaller group setting or a smaller goalie school, or even if you go private lessons 1-to-1, they're getting all the attention. So you can spend your $2,400, anywhere from call it $1,500 up to $2,500 on goalie schools, and maybe get 2 hours of instruction.
Right.
Or you can spend that type of money on private lessons and get all the attention and being coached the entire time.
Right. It's like going to tryouts after high school to a junior tryout camp, and there'll be over 200 kids. And you don't, wait a minute, they're not going to really see you.
Well,
It's kind of funny, like you just can't, I don't know. Someone's got to know you, I think.
well, that's part of it too, right? Like, you're as you go along in your youth association hockey, and as you get older, and you get up to Bantams and high school, and you're done with high school, and you're moving on to juniors, people are going to vouch for you, right? People are going to see you.
Right.
Scouts are going to see you, or
Right.
advisors are going to see you. Whatever it is, coaches are going to vouch for you. The skill level as you get higher, that skill level between each player gets smaller and smaller. But they also want to know what type of person you are. Are you a good teammate? Are you a hard worker? What's your body language?
Right.
And we were down in the cities this weekend for with my Bantam AA team, and I was speaking with somebody who was watching games, and that was one of the things they said. They're looking for what type of kid they are, and body language was
Right.
one of the big things.
Well, character's big.
Absolutely.
And these kids, they don't know it, but you better go to school, go to class, and get some good grades, because once there's so many schools that won't even look at you if you're not B or higher, They won't even look at you.
Well, I don't know, Jerry. I failed.
Well,
failed
that was
one year,
those days.
Made it back.
Yeah, but once you get to college, you do have tutoring if you want.
Oh yeah, you better keep your grades up in
Right.
college. Yeah.
No, and I always tell people, hey, if you're worried about, because you're in a busy life right now, that take some easier courses and get better grades.
Fishing skills. I highly recommend that one.
Okay, now let's go back to your academy. At what age do you think would you recommend a kid start going to your academy?
This is the thing. Like, I've seen more goalies, more kids wanting to specialize in goaltending earlier than I ever saw. And, I look back when I played, I think I was 14 years old. Actually, I was 14 when I finally decided to be goalie full time. And for 2 years, from 14 to 16, I learned how to play on player skates. It was all hand-me-down equipment. So nowadays, they're starting earlier. And that's fine, but we always recommend and suggest to the parents that anytime the kid can get out and skate,
Right.
have them get out and skate. They can be working on their edge work as a skater, which is so important to that being as a goalie. And even if they have the opportunity to play some games, scrimmages, whatnot, at a young age, they should be, because there's so much to the game that skaters can learn that when they go back in the net and specialize in goaltending, they can use that knowledge of the game as a goalie. Because as a goalie, you get to see everything in front of you, right?
Right.
And you get to see how plays develop. Well, you can learn that stuff as a player too. So use everything that you learned as a skater, be it forward or defenseman,
Right.
and then when you go back in net, you can use it to help you become a good goaltender.
Well, in hockey, I'll tell you what, if you're not a skater, it's pretty hard to make it in any level.
Well, absolutely, and it's I have great conversations with Brant Nicklin, who we touched on earlier, who's the goalie coach for UMD, and back when we were playing hockey, they always said that the goalie was the best skater on the team, right? Or your best athlete was the goalie. Mm-hmm. And even I remember those days, if there was a delayed penalty and I had to skate to the bench, I took pride on how fast I could get to the
Right.
bench so that we could get the guy out on the ice. And
Right.
nowadays, you can watch goalies skate, and there's a struggle with them just skating to the bench and getting there quickly.
Yeah.
You have to be a good skater. Well, you don't have to be, but it's going to help you. Your edge work and your skating ability is going to help you when you're a goalie.
Well, even just going from one pipe to the other pipe, just your.
That's more lateral movement, and there's
Yeah.
a little more mechanics, different mechanics
Right.
with the lateral movement. But that edge work of going sideways, whether shuffle, T-push, pad slide, whatever, RVH.
Okay, a lot of kids, they're playing or having fun. Now they're thinking they're becoming peewees and they're becoming young men. Now they're thinking, boy, I want to play for my high school and that. So when do you recommend for a kid to come down to your school and your academy?
Well, listen, we have kids, we have a mite 2. We
Really?
have mite 2s that are interested, right?
Really?
If they want to come and learn how to be a goalie, we're going to teach them, right? If a year or 2 years down the road they decide that it's not for them,
Right.
it's not like they've lost out, because what they've learned is some edge work, balance, and some core stuff that will really benefit them if they want to become a skater. So we have mite 2s. We don't push it. We like them coming for private lessons at Squirts.
Okay.
And we've had phone calls from parents about asking about younger kids, and we just say, listen, let them go have fun. Let them
Right.
skate, have fun with their friends, and work on their skating. But if they're adamant,
I think that's what's lost in community hockey, especially in the Twin Cities, is the fun. It's just like they're going and going and going and going and go. I mean, get out in the rink after you have your little practice with your team, and then just have fun with your friends and that.
Well,
And you still learn a lot. You're skating. You're skating.
well, that's that outdoor rink tradition, right?
Yeah.
Like being in Hermantown and having the kids, that's great. Like at the elementary school, they have a bus that drives the kids from the elementary school to the arena, and their gear is there, and they jump out on the ice. And the kids walk over from the middle school and the high school over to the arena. They put their stuff on, and they're on the ice rink ratting prior to practices. They'll do the practice, and then some of the kids want to stay even
Right.
longer. That unstructured hockey, that unstructured fun, they are gaining so much that they don't even know it. Whatever game they're playing, Hongo or a little half ice 3-on-3.
When you said that, family, the Plants, those boys, they, they'd be over there waiting for the guy to open the door at 6 in the morning.
Yeah.
They just had so much love and fun with the game, and they still do, and that's why I think they're going to be really good key players for UMD when they get there.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, because they always had fun. So, do you teach these kids different at different age groups, different things? Or is it basically the same fundamental stuff that you like to teach?
So the way that Jerry and I and Patty and Ben work is we call it progression-based training, correct? So we always start with the most basic, and we're going to start with your foundation, your stance, your glove placement, your stick, your butterfly. Okay, so foundation. Try building a house without a foundation; it doesn't really work, right?
Right.
So you have to have a strong foundation, and then we go from there. With the older kids, we get into some, obviously there's going to be some advanced moves that we work with.
Right.
But then it's also about fine tuning and really focusing in on details, right? I mean, you can look at any college hockey goalie coach or NHL goalie coach, and they'll talk to you about details. And so you can find many videos out there, and they're working on those details. And they're slowing it down, maybe breaking the movement, breaking the save down, and really focusing in on small details. And it's really what we do with the older kids as well.
Do you believe, okay, there's always goalies, some of them are stand-up goalies and some are get down and butterfly. Is there any way you teach, does it matter, or?
Well, there's different, some goalie coaches are really going to push, let's just use the RVH for example. Okay. Some goalie coaches are going to push the RVH, reverse vertical horizontal. And some goalie coaches might focus on staying down on the ice and moving while you're down, okay? We when it comes to the RVH, we talk about using it at the right times. Okay? We talk about being a arrow in your quiver. It's a safe selection. The way that we try and coach our goalies is move to be in position. We want them up, moving into position. We feel that is more beneficial because if you can be up in your stance, square to the shooter, you are at an advantage than being down in your butterfly. There will be times throughout the game where you have to move in your butterfly with a pad slide, but we really push for them to be recovering from a butterfly up and square to the shooter.
Yeah, these kids, these forwards are so much bigger and faster now that if you don't move fast yourself, you're in trouble.
Well, you're right. But along with it is we like to emulate who our favorite goalie is, right? So a lot of young goalies, they like to emulate Vasilevsky from Tampa Bay, and let's be honest, the guy's 6'5".
Yeah.
You can't be down on the ice trying to make the same moves and saves that Vasilevsky can make because he's about 3 feet taller than you.
Yeah, most of them are all big. I mean, there are a lot of Russians lately, but I was out in Pittsburgh again for the USHL, and it's amazing. There's some big goalies.
Well,
but there's Swedes and Finlanders, and there's a lot of Swedes and Finlanders. Is there a reason that they have more? Or
I really don't know.
That's just weird.
I try and focus on the Midwest, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's enough. That's why I stay with Minnesota,
yeah.
And I can't even keep up with that hockey.
Well, I've heard throughout the years that usually you don't get a look if you're not over 6 foot tall. I mean, goalies are big these days. They cover a lot of net. The way the game is played these days, they cover a lot of the net.
Yeah, Shepard probably is not much more than 6 feet, huh? Would you say?
That I don't know.
But he's a backup for the Washington Capitals right now.
Is he? I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Kudos to him.
Yeah.
He's come a long ways.
No, he's a very competitive kid.
Yeah, Brant has done some really, really good work with the UMD goalies through the years, and it's nice to see him.
And I think 3 of them came from the Wilderness. They played for the Wilderness.
Fanty. Did Shep play there?
No, he played another North American Hockey League out. I don't know if it was Minot or
Why not?
Aberdeen, one of
I don't
them.
know.
But Castle,
Kaskasuo?
yeah. Who else was out there? But whatever. I mean, the wilderness.
Yeah.
That's what it takes. When you can get a good goalie, you can make a team. When they're not doing good, a goalie can play a good game and get you back in the winning
Well, look at
column and that.
a goalie is supposed to stop all the ones that he's supposed to stop, and he or she should stop. 3, 4, 5, or 6 that they're not supposed to stop, right?
Right.
I mean, isn't that why they keep track of the percentage of save above what you should? I mean, I think that you're actually tracking a stat like
Yeah.
that now.
Well, the Wild goalies, they switched off a little bit now, and they both had one bad game, and they both had a good game. So this is common. I mean, goalies can have bad games. I mean, things happen, but let me tell you, a goalie that I really like is this Minnesota kid down in Dallas, Ottinger.
Ottinger, yeah, he's a good goalie. I mean,
And what I like about him is that he can have a bad game or make a bad play and the other team scores, but he doesn't let it bother him. He just gets back into his zone,
well, best goal advice I ever got as a goalie was I was in San Jose trying out, and the best advice I was given was you have a short memory, right? You have to have short-term memory. If you're gonna dwell on what just happened
Right.
or that goal that just went in,
Right.
good luck.
Right. So how can anyone get a hold of your academy if they want to bring their kid or a kid wants to go there?
Yep. So we do have a website, Upper Midwest Elite Goalie Academy.com. So you can
Okay.
go there, find out more information, registration, details on lessons and the cost. You can schedule everything right online as well.
Okay.
Send us an email at info@elitegoalieacademy.com or just give me a call at 218-310-1329.
Okay. All right. Taras Lendzyk, boy, he's doing a lot. Not only has a regular job, Bantam AA coach at Hermantown, he's helping out all these high schools and kids from mites to.
Hey, let's not forget my staff, Jerry Picard, Patty
Yep.
Elsmore, and Ben Pat as well. I can't do it without them, and we can't do it without each other.
And Jerry and Patty both played D1 hockey, and
Yep.
so we got some good teachers right now and up here in
Ben.
the Duluth area. So,
And Ben played D1 as well.
That's
so
right.
we have a staff that
So-
played a high level of hockey.
yep, you're going to learn a lot. So give them a call or email them for any information. So that's it for this show at the PACT-TV studios. Thanks, Liz, Jim, and Vicky. And we'll see you next week. See you at the rink.